Good evening, folks of the UK. Today I want to speak about the importance of owning one Bitcoin, which unfortunately for many people now is too late. 7 years ago, even 5 years ago, it would have been possible for the average salary earner, average income earner in the UK to get to one Bitcoin. But now, even the middle classes, even the upper middle classes, have been priced out. The importance is that Bitcoin now, as we're speaking, is literally $101,000, which equates to about 79,000 English pounds. This is not a sales pitch. Legally, this is not a sales pitch. You don't have to listen to me. You can ignore it. But when Bitcoin hits $1 million, please don't come crying to me. Don't. My shoulder's not that comfortable. I don't want to know. Please don't come crying to me. Thank you. So, I think many will ignore Bitcoin. Even the companies now, people in the UK, millionaires, will ignore Bitcoin, I reckon, until it hits $1 million. And then, even millionaires will be priced out. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, for example. 21 million Bitcoin, and there's around 21 million millionaires in the United States alone. So, mathematically, 21 million millionaires in the United States will never be able to own a whole Bitcoin each. They're late. But they're not late, because they could still buy some. They could still buy a fraction. You could still buy a 1 Satoshi, which is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. You could buy 1 million Satoshis, which is 100th, or you could buy a 10th of a Bitcoin. You could buy 10 million Satoshis. That's still achievable for many in the UK. Not all, but quite a majority. If you don't piss your money away and you don't spend it on ridiculous stuff. Don't buy houses. You know why? Because Bitcoin is going to demonetize the price of houses. Don't store your money in bonds, dead money, equity. Even gold. Bitcoin will exceed the market cap by multiple times of gold. 10 times the market cap of gold, eventually. Even more. The price of Bitcoin will go up forever because the governments are going to keep on printing money out of thin air. Yeah. And Bitcoin, it's the only finite property. It's the only finite commodity. It's the only finite asset. It's not security. It's an asset. There will be no more than 21 million Bitcoin. The time now is to buy some, because in 10 years, 5 years' time, you'll only be able to by a fraction of a Bitcoin, 100 millionth, 100th, 1,000th, and that's even millionaires as well. Bitcoin is going to $1 million, and beyond that, because it's the perfect money. It's the perfect store of value. Gold is the second best, yeah, and it was the best until Bitcoin appeared miraculously. Eventually, governments will start selling their gold reserves and transferring it into Bitcoin, if there's any left for them to get. You've got Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, in December alone, November into December, and last month, he's literally bought billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and he will never sell it. That is illiquid. It will never be sold. It will never be liquid. There's at least $450 trillion worth of assets waiting to flow into Bitcoin. It's going to take a bit of time because the world's still conservative. It will take time, but it's going to happen because people will work it out. And the smart people who've already invested in Bitcoin will eventually convince them. Yep, the old guard will die. The new guard will inherit the old fiat money, the dollars and the pounds. It's just literally a question of time. Could take 10 years, could take 20, could take 30 years. It will happen within our lifetime. Bitcoin is not a currency. It can be and will be used as a currency, but it's better to describe and understand Bitcoin as a property, as digital property, as digital gold. It's gold without the defects. It's houses without the defects. It's basically being a private landlord without all the nightmares of being a private landlord. With Bitcoin, you're not going to have Tracy calling you up at 3 o'clock in the morning saying the gas and the heating is not working. That will not happen with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, over a 4-year period, that's why it's not a currency, it's a property to be held for at least 10, 20, as long as possible. Gold, it's impossible to leave any country with a certain amount of gold, over a certain amount of gold. Try and leave the UK or any country with over an ounce of gold, or say a kilo of gold. It will be impossible. It will probably get confiscated off you, and the government will have it, even though you've legally bought it. But with Bitcoin, you can just zap it to all across the world. You can carry it with you. You've got the private keys in your head, you've got the passwords in your head. They don't know what it is. They will never be able to get your Bitcoin if you secure it properly. What else? Yeah. People think you can create more Bitcoin. You can't. It's capped. It's in the protocol. It's capped at 21 million. No one controls the network. There are these things called miners who mine the Bitcoin and release onto the network, and they either keep the Bitcoin for themselves, or they release it and they sell it to an exchange where every day me and you retail investors can buy it. The nodes are they're not miners. If you may have heard of nodes, nodes are individuals who look after the network and basically maintain the transactions and make sure the rules are being followed and on the protocols. Yeah, no one's getting more Bitcoin when they mine a block every 10 minutes now.